Hello everyone, welcome back to the top of my bed where I am free to do anything I want. He's back again. Which segues very well into the topic of today's video and what I want to talk about. I want to ask what really is freedom, like the abstract thought of being free and having the freedom to do stuff. Like, what really is it, Do you want to go back? Say hi. He's camera shy. Go back to your little cousin. So, what is freedom? Well, I would say it's an abstract thought, right? But it's also like an ability. Now, when I think freedom, I think, having full, power, not power, but control over what you do, choices, and just like anything that has to do with your life. Yeah. When I think freedom, I think liberty of emotions and expression, just whatever, right? But, some people would characterize it as being free from pains. Sorry. Being free from pains, being free from responsibilities, from pressures and stuff. And don't touch that though. Don't touch the camera. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. He keeps coming back. Go away. Go away. Right. So, as I was saying, people would characterize it as that, as just not having any worry in life and being free of responsibility and pressure, which I think they all mix together pretty well, because, getting into the dark areas of what this channel is, having the choice to wait. I'm sorry. Having the choice to either keep on going or to quit is freedom, I would say, but not in the sense of what it usually is represented as. Because usually freedom is represented as something that's good, positive, something that brings you a weight off of your shoulders. But also, freedom is not having any limitations, and not everything in life is always positive. So, obviously, the positive stuff is going to have negatives. So, if you don't have any limitations based or set onto yourself or your actions, then obviously you're going to have the freedom to do anything. And, well, some people would say that you're not really free to do it because you're mostly driven by pain and by suffering. But in a way that I would take it is that pain and suffering are definitely what drives you to it, but you do still have some sense of self and some sense of freedom to make a choice. You can either keep living with the pain, or you can, just stop, quit, and that is technically being free and having freedom of choice. Now, of course, in the great big land of America, where freedom is the most wonderful thing ever, and it's the most wanted thing. It's like the thing they're most proud of. Well, in the yeah, it's not always great, because there's the freedom that's good, like not having someone abusive or ruling have power over you, or freedom of making decisions that aren't more so necessarily good. Now, there are laws, right? Like laws against murder, or uh, gun violence, violence in general. There are laws against that, but there is still the choice of abiding by those laws or disobeying those laws, right? And see, this isn't what I usually would talk about, but I thought it would be an interesting topic. Sorry, it's like halfway through, whatever. Um, that is still freedom of choice, but it does have a limitation, but only if you act on that freedom of choice, right? This is all in my own interpretation. If you guys have a different interpretation, please do write in the comments below. I will gladly read them. I like reading comments. I find it very nice that, you know, that people take their time to write something. Um, but yeah, I feel like if you didn't have freedom of choice, or freedom of, just expression, freedom of whatever, like going back to the whole laws thing, you still have the freedom to choose whether or not you want to abide or break those laws. But if you had something that said that physically stopped you from even attempting that freedom, that choice to act on what you want to do, that's not freedom, that's limiting. And sometimes limiting is good. Limiting on certain topics. You know, limiting yourself on some stuff is good. Limitations are always really good. And set boundaries are great. And, well, takeaway, freedom is really just the ability to make choices good or bad, right? The outcome, like, the outcome being bad doesn't necessarily mean you're less free to do so. You're free to do the act, but you're not free of having done that act, right? There's always going to be a consequence, good or bad, of anything you do. Anything at all that you do, there's going to be something that happens afterwards. And so that is sort of my interpretation of what freedom is, what being free is. I do consider it normally as something good. Like, yeah, I I do usually think that it's a good thing that you're free to do stuff, to make choices, but I also do think that sometimes having full freedom and you give it to the wrong people, obviously a lot of people make choices not because they want to, sometimes, right? There are, of course, a lot of people that have a lot of, that need a lot of help because they, uh, because, like, they do choices that normally people would not do, because they, like, stereotypical people would not do, in a way, in a sense. So my takeaway from all this is that it's not necessarily good, it's not necessarily bad, it is just something you can do. It's like an action, kind of, you know? It's just an ability. And he's back. But yeah. Sorry. He just keeps on coming. So, yeah. And not having freedom is just not an illusion. There's obviously, like, people who abuse just so that people don't have that freedom. But there is sometimes, it is that sometimes that illusion of not having the ability to do anything. Now, I'm not saying go break the law just because you can and there are just consequences afterwards. I'm just saying it's what I interpret freedom to be. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Remember, someone out there loves you. Take care of yourself. See you later.